Because I'm just thinking about what is going on in his mind. I'm just thinking about what could be going on in his mind if he's actively pursuing girls that are way younger than him.
Okay, so what's actively going on in your mind dating someone who's 24?
I didn't actively pursue
this
him.
boy.
Okay, so then maybe
I'm not actively looking for younger boys to date.
Okay, but maybe some of these older men are actively looking for younger women to date.
I'm sure there are situations that just work and they're fine and that's okay. But there is like.
Why do men's motivations?
So again, we're back to like what percentage, I guess. So what percentage of like age gap relationships, I guess, do you think are controlling and are like toxic?
In my own experience, I've seen them in my own experience.
But what's the percentage?
I don't know the percentage. I don't see studies on it or anything.
Just a guesstimate, though, from your personal experience. Less than 1%, 5%, 10%?
I would say like 30 or 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, can I ask you a question? So can you explain to me like what's the benefit to the man to pick a 31-year-old over a 21-year-old? Like, what's the actual benefit?
Well, I think a more mature woman. You have somebody that can, has more life experience, knows to deal with certain situations better than a 20-year-old.
Most men aren't attracted to a more mature woman, though. That's the thing. Like, it matches up in age gap relationships like that because a lot of time women are attracted to a guy who has more experience, more life experience, even like maybe negative experiences. It doesn't damage a man as much as it can damage a woman in terms of how she conducts herself in the relationship. So that's why it can match up like that. Like a woman may be more attracted to an older guy. An older guy is more attracted to a younger woman because she has more reproductive years, like Brian said, and like just because of attraction. And as long as you have your basic values lined up, like no drinking, for example, or like if you want to have children in the future, that's the thing that should matter the most. Not like small things like he didn't listen to the same type of music when he was younger as I am right now. Like it's not about that because those things don't really matter in a relationship.
I agree with.
It can matter in like friendships. Like you can sit with your friend in a car and listen to music, but like with your husband, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter as much because there's so many other things that matter so much more.
There are much more things that matter more than the same music. I agree with that.
Like commonalities. I'm not just talking music. Like commonalities that have to do with age. You can have like basic things in common that matter more, and you have an age gap relationship. It doesn't necessarily mean that one person is like trying to manipulate the other person.
No, I'm like maybe it's my English or something, but I agree completely with what you said
Dutch,
here.
maybe we'll understand it better.
It's like two people understanding.
But, well, I mean, I guess
I agree with exactly everything you said. I agree with that. That's the baseline of it. But I think in the group of men that are looking for specifically only younger girls, like I'm just trying to understand what is going on in their mind and why they're not able to date somebody of their own age. When we go to certain other cultures, I don't know if I can say this, but in Muslim cultures, they sometimes date or they marry, like 25-year-old men marry 9-year-old girls. Why?
Well, hold on. Just to be clear, we're talking about adult relationships, right? We're talking about adult relationships.
Okay.
Right. So this would mean they're adults.
Both consenting.
So you're talking about, that's wrong.
Yeah,
You're talking about 9-year-olds? Yeah, I don't think anybody at this table is defending that.
Agreed. But okay, this what
You're talking about Islam?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like it. I'm not gonna get into that convo, but
yeah. So I'm just maybe it's just me trying to understand what is going on there, and most people are just it's fine. It should be fine. I don't think we should just look at it like that. I was actually on that camp first years ago, but now I'm trying to see it like from a different perspective, and I just want to know what is going on in a man's head when they choose to go for a much younger girl, why they're not able to date somebody their own age.
Wait, are you saying
specifically?
So is there a component here where it's like the men can't get women their own age So they have to go after these like naive younger women.
Yeah, I'm talking about a specific group of men that after a certain age, that they're not in a relationship and they're only hooking up and dating with younger girls.
After what age?
28, 30.
So you're 32.
I'm talking about
You're currently
men
dating
right
a
now.
24-year-old. Which, by the way, I don't actually have any objections to, but
I want to really make this clear. I, in general, don't have an objection for an older man dating a younger girl. But there's a certain group of men that I do think they are in somewhat way insecure. And they are looking specifically for younger girls to date because that sense of control, they probably enjoy that. And there's I think a border between leadership and control.
okay. Well, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with you that like perhaps for some men who date younger women, they do so for like bad reasons or whatever. You know, they're insecure or they are immature, and like the older women can suss that out. But I think to paint with a broad brush and just say men in general, like I would say it's a very small minority of men who find younger women attractive are like fall within that. But I'm willing to grant that, yeah, there probably are some men who are insecure and are, you know, immature or whatever. But I don't know if it's worth exploring like a minority of men there. You had something more? Or?
Yeah, I mean, if we look at samples in Hollywood, we see that a lot because I think they have to be either have a lot of resources to be able to attract a 22-year-old when you're 40 or above. I can tell you from a man's perspective why DiCaprio is probably doing that. He's like, why would I be with a 40-year-old woman when I could be with this? It's just aesthetically attraction. I get your point. I think it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple the reason why they do it.
My dad married someone 20 years younger than him. So, and I'm pretty sure that was, I'm sure, just an attraction thing. She had already had kids too.
It's the stereotype,
so it's
right?
just not
Like,
even about, yeah.
leave for their secretary. It's Mad Men. We saw it.
I mean,
happens a
my
lot.
grandfather married my grandmother, and there was like an 18-year age gap. He was 18 years older, but I think that was an arranged marriage. So like that's just like a totally different kind of situation.
We have some chats coming through. We have one moment. Lucas, hey Lucas, thank you, man. Again, with this feminist age gap prattle, age gaps are morally neutral. My parents were 15 years. The reasons are simple. Men pursue youth beauty because of fertility and good genes. Women pursue older men because of the accumulation of wealth, stability, ability to protect. Stop with the control BS talking points. Stop trying to impose your preferences onto men. Your opinion is relevant to us. Thank you for that, Lucas. Appreciate your message. Yeah, I mean, I think it just comes down to what people find attractive. And I think just biologically, evolutionarily, men are attracted to like women probably between the age of like 20, 25. That's probably like the peak in terms of what men will deem attractive. It just comes down to, as Warren said, like an aesthetic, and there's the biological basis of just like that's when women are the most fertile. So there's a biological basis for that. Desert Joe says, Chair 2 keeps insinuating men aren't able to date their own age. This is completely false. Men generally have a biological preference for women who are in their peak fertility age range, not control. I also, on this one, I think, Desert Joe, is that I was thinking about this, and I actually think that men, say like men who are in their 30s, early, mid-30s, whatever, who are able to date younger women, like say between 20 to 24 or something, I think they actually, those men in that age range are more able to date women in their age range. They just opt and choose not to. Because I think as a guy in your 30s, in order to be able to attract a 20-year-old, I think you have to be pretty damn attractive in whatever the ways that women find men attractive are. And this would then, that level of attractiveness that the 20-year-olds find attractive so too should it be the case that the 30 or 40, the older women would also find those men attractive too. So it's actually the case that I think, like, for example, a man who can't attract younger women, I think that guy is less likely to be able to attract women of his own age also. So I don't know, this idea that like, oh, they can't get women their own age, so they have to go date like really hot, attractive 20-year-olds. It doesn't really track for me that it's like.
But 30 and 25 is not a big age gap, right? That's like a small age gap.
Oh, well, I mean, I would just give you like 33 dating a 21-year-old. That's pretty big age gap. But I mean, I think in order to date, to be able to get a 21-year-old when you're in your 30s, you have to be pretty darn attractive in order to get her. If you're in the 30s and you can't get younger women, I'd argue that you're like probably less attractive to women in your age group. So it's not that they can't get the older women, these older men. It's not that they can't get them. They can get them, but they're opting to go with the better option, which happens to be younger women.
And that just means, actually, when you say better, it's just more attractive, basically.
I mean,
because the other things don't matter.
I won't sugarcoat it, but sure,
it is,
more. Well,
yeah, more youthful,
wouldn't it be this?
Beautiful.
Yeah, so better.
Yeah, that basically is what it comes
to.
to.
I'm not making like a claim on their value as a human being.
No, that's.
But like as a potential partner, yeah, they're better, more attractive. So if better equals more attractive, then yes. We